is sponsored by Status Audio, specifically the Status Between 3 ANC earbuds. The Between 3 ANCs are the latest earbuds from Status Audio, and let me just tell you, they are amazing. I've always said that I will only ever promote products which I myself will use, I think are super high quality, are relevant to the channel, are genuinely really useful, and to be honest, these earbuds tick all of those boxes. I use them to listen to music, I use them at the gym, they've replaced my previous headphones that I used at the gym. I use them on the train on the way to work, and more importantly, I've used them to listen to ASMR. The earbuds have a triple driver system, one driver each for bass, mids and treble, creating a much richer and cleaner sound. As a result, ASMR sounds so good through them, but obviously, warning, probably not the best idea to fall asleep wearing earbuds. There's also the Status app, to which I've paired my earbuds to, where not only can you toggle on and off the active noise cancelling and ambient noise features, but you can also select different sound modes or even customise your own to really get the sound that you want out of them. It's so cool. On top of all of that, the earbuds have an 8-hour battery life with active noise cancelling turned on, or 12 hours with it turned off. And the nifty little charging case it comes with holds 36 hours of charge, meaning if my maths is correct, that's 2 days straight of playing. So if the Between 3 ANC earbuds are something you think you're interested in, then you can go to the link in the description and use the code allsortsasmr for 10% off your purchase. You can go to the website on screen or click the link in the description, allsortsasmr, for 10% off your purchase. Thank you Status Audio for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoy the video. Hey everybody, and welcome to another ASMR video here on the channel. Today we have the return of the ever popular 1 hour long fact videos. I'm going back to completely random. I believe the last one we did was history facts. So today we're returning to the random ones. Now I don't want to waffle on too much in the intro, because obviously we've already had the wonderful ad, but there is obviously something I definitely need to say, and that is of course, thank you so much for 20,000 subscribers. I know there are some huge YouTube channels out there, so 20,000 might not seem like a lot to you guys, but to me it's just like a totally ridiculous number. I mean, with every additional 1 subscriber I get, it's still so strange to me that I'm putting these videos out onto the internet, and you guys are obviously you're watching them, and then you're engaging with them, and then many of you feel compelled to subscribe as well. And I honestly can't thank you enough. For me, my sort of aim, I mean, I think we can hit it by the end of the year, but 30,000 is like the number I want to hit, because then that means that with all of you lovely subscribers, I could fill the stadium of the team I support. So that's like, I can like visualise that. So that's like one I'll be not more excited about, but one I've always like aimed towards. Obviously I would love to hit 100k, but I personally don't think that will ever happen. I believe I can, but from a practical standpoint, I don't actually think that I'm going to get to 100k, but that's fine. I'm not doing it for the numbers, but 30k, once I've got that, anything after that is like lovely. But anyways, thank you the band from breaking down as fast as it normally does. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. This includes change in dimes, quarters, and combinations of the two. Can you figure out all 293 combinations? Well, what an ASMR video that would be. The Grand Theft Auto, or GTA, franchise has lawsuits that total over $1 billion. There are a lot of controversies that surround the game due to the nature of its gameplay, of course. Rockstar North has faced many legal claims of copyright and influencing young players to commit sexual and illegal acts. I mean, that is the kind of the point of the game now, but whatever. All of the clocks in the film Pulp Fiction are set to 4:20. Some people state that there are two scenes where the clocks are not set to this. Watch the movie to figure out which scenes they were. The eye of an ostrich is bigger than its brain. Its eyes are around the size of a billiard ball. One eye is also smaller than the other. Perhaps this is why they tend to run in circles. A dime has 118 ridges on its edge. The ridges allow the coin to determine if it is real or fake. This was implemented on all coins before the 18th century. The ridges also make it harder to make counterfeit coins. On average, a secretary will use its left hand for 56% of what they type on a keyboard. This is because of the most common letters in the English language are on the left side of the keyboard. The right side of the keyboard only contains I and N as the most common letters. The largest pair of eyes in the world belongs to the giant squid. Its eyes are the size of soccer balls and are at least 25 centimeters across. The largest fish eye is only around 9 centimeters wide, and that belongs to the swordfish. The Pokemon Rhydon was the first to ever be created. According to the lead video game designer Ken Sugimori, Rhydon was the first ever Pokemon to be created by the team. No, it was not Bulbasaur. Super Mario was the most popular game on the Game Boy during its release. It's also the first platform where the Mario games had released. To this day, Super Mario Land continues to be one of the highest ranked games loved by retro gamers. The dot over the small letter I is called a diddle. This dot is an integral part of the lowercase I and J. These dots also appear over the letters in various languages. Japan has 23 vending machines per person. That is nuts. That is just ridiculous. Soccer balls were once used for playing basketball. The first basketballs were not produced until 1894. This means that for 3 years upon the invention of the game, people were using non-regulated balls. A candle's flame is hot and blue in zero gravity. Diffusion feeds the flame with oxygen. This then allows carbon dioxide to move away from the point of combustion. Putting sugar on a cut will help it heal faster. Pour some sugar on top of the wound and wrap it with a bandage. reason for this is because the X-ray cannot penetrate or identify the materials in the diamond. There are 7 different types of twins. Apart from the well-known identical and fraternal types of twins, there are 5 more. These include half-identical, mirror image, mixed chromosome, and superfecundation, and superfetation. Interesting. The national flag of Libya was formerly just the colour green. Through the years of 1977 to 2011, its national was a single colour national flag, I assume it means to say. There were no other designs added to the flag. The plastic tips of shoelaces are called aglets. These tips can also be made of metal. Its purpose is to make the lace easier to hold when running through the holes of the shoes. Now, any of my Phineas and Ferb fellow fans will be well aware of this fact because they made an absolutely banging song to help you remember. Sign language has tongue twisters. They are called finger fumblers. Many who have practiced sign language over the years still fumble over certain sequences in ASL. Penguins fly underwater. Rather, they swim so well underwater that it seems as if they are flying. They can swim up to speeds of 25 miles per hour. So they're still not actually flying, so technically that's not a fact, and technically I am a fraud, yes. Minnie, the mouse's first name, is not Minnie. It's actually Minerva. Minnie Mouse is a nickname that was given to the character by It Works and Walt Disney. Minnie's actual name is rarely used. Yeah, Minerva the mouse doesn't quite have the same ring to it, if you ask me. Rudolph the reindeer is actually female. This can be observed through their antlers. Female deer shed their antlers in the spring and grow them back into full size by the winter. The male reindeer stops its growth during the winter. Wow, plot hole. A jiffy is actually a proper unit of time. It is exactly 1/100th of a second. This is slower than a blank, which is sextillion times faster. Interesting. April 11th, 1954 was recorded as the most boring day in the world. Statistics show that no significant occurrences took place in the world. This was calculated by a computer search program. This program could calculate the number of important events that occur all over the world simultaneously. Tiramisu translates to "take me to heaven" in Italian. This implies that this dish is so good that it would take you to heaven. This Italian dessert is well loved all over the world and has several alternative twists that you can create. Buttermilk does not contain any butter. The butter in its name refers to the origins of the drink. Now that's confusing random fact you probably didn't know. I'm not sure what the need was to add that little conversational line, but fair enough. Brunch was invented as a way of curing hangovers. This meal would be enjoyed as a late breakfast that leans more towards fatty foods. This came from the belief that alcohol causes cravings for greasy food to increase. Yeah, I can vouch for that. Whenever I'm drunk, all I fancy is just like a disgusting McDonald's or a kebab. Although I wouldn't have a kebab for brunch. Hitler's nephew betrayed him statistics, there are approximately 3 trillion trees on the planet and only about 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. Wow, that's pretty cool. Mary and James are the most popular names around the world. Between the years of 1917 to 2016, over 5 million baby boys were named James. On the other hand, over 3.5 million baby girls were named Mary. Children are born less frequently on Saturdays. Among all the days in the week, most children in the world are born on a Thursday. Babies born on weekends in December is also the least common. Danish mothers are known to be the most hard-working mums in the world. According to statistics, 82% of mothers in Denmark are employed. Meanwhile, neighbouring countries like Sweden and the Netherlands only rate out 50% working mothers. 75 McDonald's burgers are sold every second. That's crazy. You can actually view how many burgers have been sold in real time on the McDonald's website. 1,700 people become millionaires every day in the US. The United States has over 8 million families who have a yearly income of over $1 million. You can't hum while holding your nose. I bet you just tried it, didn't you? Well, I don't want to particularly try it on camera because it would require me not whispering. Wow. It is true. Lovely, so we validated that one, so that's at least one that we know is true. You are more likely to have a weird or scary dream when sleeping on your stomach. This is because different sleeping positions give different pressure on your body. Sleeping on your stomach restricts other movements compared to sleeping on your side or back. Research believes that this may be why the intensity of your dreams differentiate depending on your sleeping position. I always find that I have my most vivid dreams when I'm sleeping on my back. And I try not to sleep on my back because I've had pretty bad sleep paralysis a couple of times, so I just, as a rule of thumb, I try to sleep in the fetus position, much more comforting. Your eyeballs do not grow or change their size as you age. Generally, only the vertical measure changes, but only by a very small amount. By the time we reach 20 to 21 years old, our eyes will be at their permanent state. Blue-eyed people have higher alcohol tolerance. Research in 2000 found that those with lighter colour eyes are less likely to abuse alcohol, thus lesser consumption and developing a higher tolerance. How can that possibly be? Pubic hair lives for about 3 weeks long. It also indicates if the human body is ready for reproduction. It also protects the genitals area during reproduction. Great, okay, cool. Male bees can only mate once. After mating with a female, the male bee's endophallus is removed. Its abdomen also rips open and results in the male bee's death. Now that's what we call a bad date. Yeah, man, that's depressing. They'd have to pick really carefully, wouldn't they? Because you'd just be annoyed if you had a bad bit of intercourse and then you died. What is this video? Okay. Smelling green apples helps with weight loss. A research stated that the smell can help curb your hunger. The neutral sweet scent that comes from green apples and bananas is enough to temporarily forget about hunger. Interesting. staying up for 2 weeks straight. Sleep deprivation can cause your mental and motor responses to become unstable, thus causing a higher risk to your safety. Pigeons can't fart. Farts are caused by a noticeable number of eruptions from intestinal gas. However, for a bird, their intestine is short, which causes them to get rid of waste more frequently. Space partly smells like diesel fuel and barbecue. This is mainly due to the amount of dying stars in our galaxy. The combustion releases a compound called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or some good trigger words, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. I actually really want to do, and I am going to do over the next few months, I think, fact videos on each of the different sciences, so physics, chemistry, biology, and I feel like there's going to be some pretty good, like, tingly trigger words in there. So hopefully that should be good. 1 strand of hair can hold up to 3 ounces of weight. The average person's head contains about 100,000 strands of hair. If you do the math, your hair can support up to 12 tons worth of weight. I don't really understand that one, so I'll move on. Watching horror movies before viewing abstract art will enhance the experience. This comes from a recent study that proved our reactions towards abstract images improve when frightened. This is especially so for those who are not big fans of the movie genre. What about those of us like myself who aren't fans of abstract art? So basically, I'm going to plan to go to an art museum, but before I do, I'm going to whack on Human Centipede, and I'm going to have the time of my life, apparently. Sounds good to me. Children's book author Roald Dahl was a spy. To be more precise, he was an agent for the British Secret Coordination. Secret, not secret. I know security coordination, so I was wrong on both fronts. He was tasked to gather intel during the Second World War. And then he wrote the BFG. NASCAR drivers lose weight while racing, and it's obviously the same for F1 drivers as well. Because of the high temperatures during a race, the average driver can lose up to 10 pounds worth of body weight by sweating. A race car regularly reaches temperatures of 170 degrees Fahrenheit despite the built-in ventilation. Indians read the most in the world. On average, they spend 10 hours more of their time during the week just reading. In the age of digital media, this country still prefers an old-fashioned book rather than their phones. I like that. I love the idea of reading, but I never read, but I probably should. Captain Crunch was once sued for not using real berries. An American woman by the name of Janine Sugawara was shocked to find out the cereal was falsely advertising the contents. However, the complaint was quickly dismissed when the judge stated that there is no such thing as crunch berry. The most widely printed book in the world is the catalogue for IKEA. IKEA has over 200 million copies of its catalogue circulating annually. This surpasses the amount of printing the Christian Bible has. Yeah, so the Bible is the most printed book ever. I thought there were... So does that mean there are still more copies of the Bible in existence? But in terms of what is the most printed now, it's the IKEA catalogue, is that right? Or maybe there's just more IKEA catalogues than Bibles. The Aurora Borealis has a sister phenomenon. This can be viewed in the southern hemisphere. It is also called the Aurora Australis, and the light show it executes is just as beautiful. The salty taste of bacon isn't natural. The salty flavour that we all love comes from the curing and brining process. After the meat is prepared, fifth member of the Beatles. Stuart Sutcliffe was a painter and a bassist who was an original member before the band came into fame. He soon later died due to a brain hemorrhage. Apple once had a clothing line. They mainly consisted of graphic tees with cheesy designs on them. Ironically, they would have made a bigger hit today than in 1986. Yeah, 100%. You cannot crack your knuckles. The sound it makes is due to the gases that are released when you put pressure on them. When joints are stretched, the pockets of gas between the joints are released. Yeah, I remember that growing up, in order to stop you to get like doing that, your parents or your teachers would be like, oh, if you do that you'll get arthritis, but it's actually a load of rubbish. You can just do it an unlimited amount of times, and honestly there's not many more satisfying feelings in the morning where you wake up a bit stiff, and you crack all your hands at once, all your fingers. I assume you only have 2 hands. Your funny bone is a nerve. This funny bone connects the shoulder to the elbow and also has the ulnar nerve running along it. This nerve is responsible for sensing feelings in the ring and pinky fingers. A French pig was executed for killing a child. A pig from the Middle Ages was tied to a crime involving a murder. The pig was said to have come in contact with the child's face, which caused complications due to the injuries. Ultimately, this led to the death of the 3-month-old child, and the pig was sent to jail and eventually publicly executed. Oh, that's kind of sad. Pineapples are named after pine cones. This is mainly due to the similarity of its spiky outer skin. Pine cones are also the product of the pine tree. Scotland has over 400 words to refer to snow. One of Scotland's 3 official languages have a great extent of expressive phrases for snow. A few along these words include snore and flindrinkin. There are more than 200 flavours of Kit Kat in Japan. You can find Japan-exclusive flavoured Kit Kats such as Adzuki, which is red bean, Tamaruya Honden Wasabi, which is Japanese horseradish, Shinshu apple, and more. New Zealand was once auctioned on eBay. In 2006, an Australian man auctioned the country on the e-commerce platform with a starting bid of 1 cent. The bidding prices were raised to $3,000 before officials of the website shut it down. There is a city in Oregon called Boring. It also has a sister city called Dull in Scotland. Leeches were once used to predict the weather. This was common practice during the Victorian era. However, further research proved this type of prediction method was not reliable. Only owning 1 guinea pig is illegal in Switzerland. I think we've had this fact before on the channel and I love it. Guinea pigs are herd social animals and therefore become severely depressed when alone. Switzerland considered only owning 1 illegal to practice social rights for animals. I love that. A man in Florida once threw a live alligator through a drive-through window. A 24-year-old man named Joshua James was being handed his order at a Wendy's drive-through before he randomly threw an alligator into the window. He was then later charged for assault, theft, and the illegal possession of an alligator. I feel like I definitely need to do a video on Florida man. I don't know if you've heard about that, but it's like, I only really found about this the other day, but like the Florida man, like it's not really a theory, but it's just the idea that there's always a man from Florida who has done something like insane. So I think I'll do like a video like the most insane Florida man stories kind of thing. Great Britain once had a number where you can report rogue traffic cones. They launched a hotline in 1992 to improve public services. However, this policy was mocked for being pointless and a waste of government funds. Yeah, based. The largest recorded snowflake is 15 inches wide. This was dated January 28, 1887 in Montana, USA. It was stated that army personnel witnessed the falling snowflake as frisbee-sized. I don't know about that. I know quite a lot of snowflakes now who are substantially bigger than that, so... McDonald's once had bubblegum flavoured broccoli. This was done as an attempt to make kids enjoy eating vegetables. However, this strange method failed for obvious reasons. American Airlines saved money by getting rid of olives from their meals. About 3 decades ago, the airline started looking into ways on how to save money. They started by removing a single olive on their first-class meals, which led to an annual savings of $40,000 during the 1980s. OMG was first used in a letter to Winston Churchill in 1917. A retired British Admiral of the Royal Navy one day became excited due to headlines regarding the mobilising forces of Britain. Excited to share this news with the college, the Admiral quickly wrote a small acronym for "Oh my God" in his letter. Little did he know that he had just invented one of the most popular acronyms of today's society. I do find that kind of mad. Like, so that guy, he'd have died completely unknowing what he had just started. And like, it's not really an invention, but like, he just did that off the cuff, and it's now just such like a huge ever-present thing in like this fact says, in today's society. But that geese had absolutely no idea what he was doing. I find things like that so interesting, don't know why. Sailors consider black cats good luck. Some sailors use black cats as the ship's cat in hopes of a safe voyage. Some fishermen's wives would even keep a black cat at home as well in hopes of their husband's safe return. A janitor invented the flaming hot Cheetos. One of the janitors working at the Frito-Lay plant in Southern California pitched the idea of adding chili powder to the regular product. Top brass liked the idea, and so did many consumers. This leads the janitor to a generous promotion where he is now an executive for PepsiCo. North Korean teachers were required to play the accordion. This musical instrument is also known as the people's instrument due to its convenient size suitable for taking to marches. Students from all schools in the country are required to learn them. This explains why teachers need to pass an accordion exam before they get their teaching licenses during the 1990s. That's so weird. Melting glaciers make fizzy noises. This is also known as Bergy Seltzer because of how similar it sounds to fizzing soda. The sound is mainly due to the melting waters that free tiny bubbles trapped in the ice. Male students attending Brigham Young University cannot grow beards. This Mormon flagship university has several strict guidelines that include banning premarital sex, alcohol, and tattoos. Unless you have a medical condition or a specific religion, Men from this university are not allowed to grow a beard. A pistol can only be used by one hand. Many of these guns are mainly used for self-defense. Many models also only fire one shot after every pulled trigger. Black taxis in London are tall for a reason. This is so that gentlemen are able to ride in them without having to remove their top hats. For many, this is considered to be very convenient. Yeah, I always look for, when I'm picking transport, I always pick a vehicle where I don't have to take off my top hat, so it makes sense. Flipping a shark will render it temporarily immobile. Certain types of shark enter a state of tonic immobility due to the shock when flipped over. Some killer whales have been recorded to exploit this weakness and purposely flip them over. The killer whales, just like the bullies of the sea, just going round. It's like cow tipping, but in the ocean. The largest living organism is an aspen grove. This grove is referred to as a bando and can be found in the state of Utah. The grove is made up of 47,000 identical quaking aspen trees that cover over 106 acres. Someone will write and recite a poem at your funeral if you die in the Netherlands. This is mostly the case for those who die without a next of kin. This practice is done so that there will be at least one person at their funeral. That's nice, I like that. Alan Shepard played golf on the moon. He's also the one and only person to play golf on the moon during the Apollo 14 mission. His second shot travelled further than 200 yards. That would be so fun, wouldn't it? Ioannis Akonomou has been the chief translator of the European Parliament since 2002. This Greek translator has 32 languages under his belt and even knows languages outside of the EU. That is awesome. I think, if I could have a superpower that wasn't like a typical superpower, so it had to be like something you could use every day that people wouldn't think, oh, you've got, not like flying or invisibility. I genuinely think being able to speak any language fluently, understand every language as if it was English, as if I was the Doctor from Doctor Who, genuinely think that would be high up on my list, because it's just so cool, and I feel like you can earn a lot of money if you can translate any language. Kummerspeck is German for the weight gained during emotional eating. Kummerspeck, I like that. It vaguely translates to grief bacon. That's so good. An encrypted monument stands outside the CIA headquarters in Virginia. This monument was created by artist Jim Sanborn and features 4 inscriptions. 3 of the 4 inscriptions have been cracked already. However, no one seems to be able to crack the final code to this day. Cold water is just as cleansing as hot water. Modern detergents allow clothes to be cleaned equally with either warm or cold water. The only difference between the two is that warm water requires more energy. David Bowie helped topple the Berlin Wall. During a performance in 1987, Bowie's performance of Heroes near the Reichstag could be heard by the police in East Berlin. This resulted in a police crackdown because such music was forbidden there. Some say that this violent police crackdown acceptable for men to wear them as well. Today, both men and women wear them mainly for fashion purposes. The story of Beauty and the Beast was aimed to make women open to arranged marriages. The original 1740 tale stated that the Beast was an elephant-fish hybrid. The story mainly revolves around the idea of accepting arranged marriages for the sake of an alliance that was greater than them as a person. Timothy Leary escaped prison. Rather than break out, he simply walked away from the minimum security prison he had been placed in since 1970. He then later changed out of his prison uniform at a nearby gas station. Nice. Bottled water has an expiration date. To be more precise, the expiration date is for the bottle itself, and not the water. This is because over time, the plastic will start leaking into the water. Many pets from the US run away on July 4th. This is highly due to their fear of fireworks during America's Day of Independence. Incan people used knots to keep track of records. These knots were also tied to pendants and cords. The knots are better known as quipu, and its meanings would depend on its position on the cord. Over 600 examples of quipu have been discovered already. Monty Python has one of the most requested songs for funeral in England. Always Look on the Bright Side of Life is a common favourite during funeral services. This song was originally from the comedy classic Life of Brian. The state of Virginia may contain hidden treasure. The Beale ciphers are a set of coded texts that are said to reveal the location of hidden treasure. Researchers believe that this is worth over $43 million in gold, silver and jewels. Only one of the 3 texts have been encoded so far. Fake ambulances are hired in Russia by the wealthy. They use this as a taxi for a faster and more convenient way of getting to their destinations. They can be hired for approximately $200 an hour. That seems grossly irresponsible and exploitative. But fair enough, game's the game. Most businesses do not see the practicality of having diaper tables. However, they quickly change their minds after being given the idea that women would have to change their baby's diapers on a bathroom floor. Who knows how much bacteria are on those floors? That seems like a really random fact. It's not really a fact, is it? Whatever. It's in there. Deal with it. The world's most successful pirate was a woman. She was a 19th century Chinese pirate known as Qing Shi. She was the widow of Cheng I and easily succeeded her husband's crew of over 1,800 ships and 80,000 men. The KKK was taken down with some help from Superman. Where is this going? A 16-episode series titled The Adventures of Superman was aired on the radio during the 1940s. This series incorporated the findings that activist Stetson Kennedy had been able to get while undercover in the KKK. The Baseball Hall of Fame had a secret inductee. In 1988, a surreptitious addition to the Baseball Hall of Fame was made without anyone knowing. A bar owner visiting the hall slipped a photo of his father in a baseball cap into one of the glass cases. This photo remained in the hall for over 6 years before being discovered. Oh, they should have just left it in there. That is so funny. That is so good. Milk wagons are the reason why we have roadway lines. These lines were devised by a man who saw lines are considered to be the most important traffic safety device. The most successful predator is a wild dog. According to research, canines have an 85% success rate when hunting. This is higher than that of a lion or cheetah. A lion only has a 17 to 19% success rate. A man was once saved by a sea lion. During a suicide attempt, a man by the name of Kevin Hines survived jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. However, during his jump, he had broken his back, thus causing him to drown. A nearby sea lion witnessed this and swam beneath the man to keep him afloat until Coast Guards arrived. I mean, if that's true, that is genuinely incredible. They are so much more, there are so many creatures that are so much more intelligent than we give them credit for, but it's not like we're discrediting sea lions every day. Oh, they're so thick. But yeah, that's really cool. I hope that one's true. Saliva can be used to monitor alcohol intake. It can also detect how often you smoke or use drugs. Some research also uses it to diagnose diseases. The world's largest pyramid cannot be found in Egypt. The Great Pyramid of Cholula is found in Cholula, Puebla, Mexico, and holds the record for the largest pyramid in the world. This structure is 4 times as big as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Some pandas fake a pregnancy to get better healthcare. What? An example would be a Chinese panda named A Hin, who was believed to show signs of pregnancy. Zookeepers ensured that she was given better care for the upcoming baby that never arrived. That's pretty funny. Cacti come in many different colours other than green. Some species of cacti are naturally brown or brown-green in colour. Many will have a waxy substance on the surface which prevents water loss from transpiration. The inventor of the frisbee became a frisbee himself. During the 1950s, Steady Ed invented the frisbee and later on the sport of disc golf in the 70s. He dedicated his life to frisbees, that it was stated in his final testimonials that he wished to have his ashes turned into a frisbee itself. This was so that he would be able to play with his son even when he wasn't around. That is such a cool idea. Kind of morbid, but kind of really cool. But then imagine if you're chucking your dad around and a dog comes and bites it in half, or a gust of wind carries it and then you've lost your dad. But on paper that's a really cool idea. It's quite a practical fun thing rather than just sitting on the mantelpiece. Dolphins have names. Researchers found that dolphins use their unique vocal whistles to identify and differentiate one another. When a specific call was played back to the dolphins, they would respond differently each time. I wonder if they have names like ours, like Bob the dolphin. One species of ant can only be found in Manhattan, New York. Biologists discovered a new ant species between 63rd and 76th Street in Broadway. This ant species was found to have a higher concentration of carbon in their bodies, which was linked to a high corn syrup diet. Around 30,000 rubber ducks were lost at sea in 1992. These ducks were included in a shipment from Hong Kong to the US when one of the crates that were filled with rubber ducks was lost in the Pacific Ocean. To this day, rubber ducks continue to pop up on the shores of Australia to Alaska. I wonder if anyone was flying overhead in a plane, you just look down and see this just army of rubber ducks swimming across the ocean. It'd be pretty cool. Charles Darwin's pet turtle outlived him. The turtle named Harriet lived 76 years old by the time it passed away. That's nuts. Losing weight alters brain activity. Some records show that when women lose weight, their memory improves. Researchers also linked obesity to poor memory, most especially those with pear-shaped body types. Interesting. The folds in a chef's hat represent the number of ways you can cook an egg. The toque is also known to determine the position of the chef in the kitchen and how experienced they are. Depending on how they descend, waterfalls have different classifications. This can be divided into 10 main categories. The most common one is the plunge and multi-step. Neil Armstrong never said, "That's one small step for man." The astronaut corrected that it was, "That's one step for man, one giant leap for mankind." No astronaut has ever uttered, "Houston, we have a problem," in real life as well. I feel like that one's a bit more obvious. The odds of getting a royal flush is 1 in 649,740. A straight flush is more likely in this case. Out of all the possible combinations, the chances of getting a single pair is 42%. Driving south from Detroit will lead to Canada. Specifically, the directions are to head north from Windsor, Ontario, and crossing the Detroit River. Eventually, you would have already crossed the borders of the US. More people speak English as their second language than those who use it as their mother tongue. English has a total of nearly 2 billion fluent speakers, and it is also the most widely spoken language in the world. However, only 350 million people speak this language natively. Sleep deprivation makes it harder to lose weight. Lack of sleep can interfere with one's hormone balance and decreases leptin. It also increases ghrelin, which is the hormone that triggers hunger. The world's largest single-drop waterfall is the Kaita Falls. This is located on the Potaro River in the center of Guyana's rainforest. The average flow rate of the waterfall is 663 cubic meters per second. No two teeth from different people will ever be alike. They're similar to fingerprints. The most popular state bird is the northern cardinal. Out of the 50 states in the US, 7 voted for this species as their favourite bird. Perhaps this may be due to the Angry Bird trend from a few years back. A single dollar bill costs 5 cents to make. The current US circulation is approximately worth $1.79 trillion. Baby otters are unable to swim. Their mothers carry them wrapped around a piece of kelp while they hunt to keep them from drowning. This is only done until the pup learns how to float on his own, eventually. Snakes can predict earthquakes. Studies have found that most species of snakes can detect earthquakes before they occur. They're also able to sense quakes that occur as far as 75 miles away and up to 5 days away. I guess you could say they're just that down to earth. Oh, that was written down, that wasn't me making a quippy comment. Cringe. The King of Hearts is the only king without a mustache. Only 2 diseases have been completely eradicated. These are smallpox and rinderpest. The last naturally occurring outbreak of smallpox was recorded in 1977. The only English word that ends with MT is place a piece of cloth on top of their larders. This is regularly celebrated in Europe and the US to bring luck and wealth. I have never heard of that. Put a pillow on your fridge day, May 29th. Don't forget it. The opposite sides of die will always equal 7. The metal studs found on denim jeans serve a particular purpose. These studs are placed on particular areas where the cloth is likely to wear out faster. They act as a support for the cloth and make the jeans more durable. These studs are also known as rivets. The average adult spends more time on the toilet than exercising. On average, an adult will spend over 3 hours on the toilet per week, but only 1.5 hours exercising. About 7% of American adults believe chocolate milk comes from brown cows. I will not comment. Cats cannot taste sweet flavours. This is mainly because they do not possess the base pair of genes that detect sweet flavours. As a result, sugar does not code on their tongues as proper proteins. That's interesting. Your fingernails on your dominant hand grow faster. It also takes around half a year for a fingernail to grow from its base to the tip. These nails also grow faster on the bigger fingers rather than the smaller ones. And the final fact of the video: frigate birds can sleep while flying. This is possible because they can keep only half of their brain's hemispheres awake. Theoretically, they could fly forever if they didn't need food or water. Very interesting. And that, my friends, is going to be it for tonight's video. Hopefully you found it super interesting and relaxing as always. Those are the two aims with these ASMR fact videos. And hopefully you learned some super cool facts to go away and impress your friends. But once again, thank you everyone so much for 20,000 subscribers. It's so cool. And there's plenty of big things coming on the channel. I really feel in a good rhythm with uploads and stuff, keeping to the upload schedules, times, days, etc. And that's not going to stop soon, even when I move into my house, probably in the next few months, fingers crossed. I'll be getting weeks and weeks ahead with content, hopefully, on the gaming channel as well. So there isn't a disruption, and apologies for any background noise. My family came back earlier than expected, and I've for once tried to film this during the day, but thankfully it's gone quite well. But thank you everybody for